incorporate coding. Okay, so let me just share my screen and we'll get started. Okay. All right. So now, we are going to talk all about coding today, ways of how can we incorporate coding in our daily routine or how to integrate it with other subjects. Uh, Teachers, I want you to be clear about one thing. Coding does not mean that you have to do, you have to use those technical terms. You have to use computer or screen in one form or another to incorporate this idea of coding. Coding can also be is basically a way of thinking that we are going to do it when it comes to preschoolers. Okay, so let's just do the coding concept. Before we start, what the objectives are is basically what is coding, what basically coding means. Like there is this, everywhere it's been like, coding, my kids go for this coding, this, that coding. No. The coding, what basically it means is because if you as teachers are clear about it, you can pass on that information to the parents and the confusion or the it should be clear from your perspective, and you can make it clear for the parents as well. Knowing why coding is important to preschoolers, there are some fun easy coding activities that can be done without screens. See, I have given you options, and I will be giving you options of activities that can be done without screen and activities that are done using the screen. Okay, so I will be giving you a list of apps that are used. I will, if the time permits, I will show you also one of the apps of basically how the interface of that app is and what is it. I'll be showing you that. We'll be exploring different ideas. We will be connecting it with, the different subjects like math, phonics, and every way. So let's just try and I've made it as simple as possible. I have avoided using any kind of those technical words that coding has. So let's just go ahead. So what is coding? Now, teachers, you must have seen, like if we follow a recipe, like if you're making, say, for example, any particular recipe, be it a cake. So you know that, okay, first step is that you have to mix all the dry ingredients. So in the dry ingredients, you will be putting some flour, then some baking powder, some baking soda, some sugar. So you are following the steps. The first step is to take 1 cup of flour. Second step is to take half cup of sugar. Yeah, I'm just saying it. I am very bad at baking, so I'm just saying what comes to my mind, but that way. Or else, for example, even if apart from baking, we can take sandwiches, the picture which I've put up. So the first step is to place the bread on a plate. Second step is to spread some chutney. Third step is to place some tomato slices, then some cucumber slices, some onion slices on top of it. So we are completing those steps. Now take another slice of bread, put some chutney on it, and put it on top of it. Then, if you want to toast it, put butter and do it accordingly. So, these were the steps that you were following. So, what is coding? Coding is just like those recipes that we follow. Coding is just like giving instructions. You have to type in some instructions to the computer and the machine or whatever means computer or the machine, and it knows what to do. What are recipes? It gives you instructions, we follow and we know what we have to do, and then we enjoy it, right? So the same thing applies for coding also. Here, what language or words or sentences that we use in coding, we use symbols. That's the difference. I'll show you. I'll talk to you about it. For example, see now, imagine you tell a child, now you have to take 3 steps forward, then you have to turn right, then you have to clap twice. So the child knows the child has to take 3 steps forward only. The child doesn't have to go 5 steps or doesn't have to go backwards, nothing. The child is being given clear and crisp instructions. So it is the child has to take 3 steps forward, the child has to turn right, and the child will then have to clap twice. So when this done, that's a code that you've given. That's the instruction that you've given in a particular order which the child follows. Okay, so computers and robots, what we have, now they all follow instructions like this, but instead of words, they understand codes like symbols, commands, or blocks. These are their terms. For us, it is basically how we give the instructions. That's the same thing that applies to computers. So I have tried to modify and simplify it as basic as possible in what basically coding is. Coding is giving instructions to the computer or a robot or a machine and making them do things, what we want. Now, next we'll be going ahead with, will be why teach coding to preschoolers. Okay, so now why do we teach this particular topic? Why do we need, like coding to, like it's a new term. Why is everybody teaching it? So since everyone is teaching, why should we also teach it? See, first, like I have got those feedbacks from uh, teachers or from parents who talk. 1 minute, huh, teachers. Sorry, yeah. So I have got those kind of feedbacks also, from parents or from teachers who say that why, like without coding also we survived. Why is it all about coding now? Like why is there so much hype about it? See, the reasons are, first, since you've understood what is coding, you will also know that we have been doing coding with the preschoolers even before the term was also used or put into into the education system. Second, with the changing times, with the technology making its way, into the system, and with AI happening, and with so many different changes happening, this is something that has become like a crucial or an will soon become an important subject for the children. So why not we inculcate it? Why not we put in from preschoolers, wherein it will help not only when they grow up, but also their way of thinking will be like this, that segregating, sequencing the steps or instructions and doing it, remembering the instructions and, following it and, understanding the cause and effect. Like, okay, I follow these instructions and this is what happened. If I miss out on a step, what will happen? So, they are learning. This is how we are trying to change their way of thinking as well. Okay. So, yeah. So why it's perfect for preschoolers? Why did I mention perfect? Because it is quite similar when we talk about coding is, giving codes, giving instructions to a machine. It's quite similar to how we are teaching or we are with the preschoolers. They see that's I actually, I did mention about this that preschoolers already code without knowing it. Like when they follow daily routines, like okay, chalo, now the child has got up or come home. Now the child will wash hands, will eat snack. After the snack, they'll go and put their plate in the sink. So this is a sequencing that they've learned. It is basically they are following the instructions, and now it has been learned. It's a learned behavior. How we continuously try. Okay, the child comes in. Okay, you're done with your coloring. Just you will put the crayons back in the box. You will put the sheet here. That way. When we play Simon Says, what are they doing? They are learning commands. When we are doing Simon Says, uh, when they solve puzzles, they what are they here? They are learning. They are applying practical logical thinking. They are practicing that, like logically how to figure it out. This puzzle piece, if I move it around, it will fit or no. If not, then will it fit from the other way around? They are figuring things out logically in that particular way. Next will be that now I'm telling you some of the benefits or why to teach coding to preschoolers. Okay? Why it's perfect, I told you. Okay? Now it is why teach coding to preschoolers. Now it is not about computers, it's about thinking. As I mentioned earlier, it basically teaches the children to think by step. like, step by step jana hai, to you will get the goal, to reach the goal. Now they learn, and this is very important, is they learn to break a big problem into small small parts. For example, if we tell them that, come on, you have to wear your shoes before leaving. So first they will, they know, okay, before wearing shoes, they have to wear the socks. So they will look out for the socks, they'll wear it. We will be prompting them, or even if we keep the socks next to them, they know they have to wear the socks first, then they have to wear the shoes, then comes which shoe goes on which side. The right will be worn on the right leg, the left will be worn on the left leg. So those are also, so they've broken it into the parts. That's what we want them to think. That's how we want their way of, that the way they think should be changed and modified, can be modified this way. It boosts problem solving skills, of course. See, children face little challenges, even like basic things that you do, uh, they face challenges. But what we want them to learn is that they have to try. If they fail, they try again. They don't give up. Okay? And I have seen that through coding, it becomes a little easier for them to develop this attitude. Because nowadays I have seen the shift in the children wherein if they try first, they don't want to try. Second, even if they try, they fail, they will not try again. We don't want that. We want them to change that way. Like the way of thinking should be the try, fail, and try again. Yes. So this will help their overall personality as well. Because since, there is this unconscious inhibition that they have, that they don't want to try new things. No, I am happy with what I am. No, we don't want that. So that's the thing that uh, we can achieve through coding. It encourages creativity. Now, when coding is like, basically it's like storytelling with rules. Like, what if the robo moves like a bunny? What will happen? Ask them. So they will say the robo will try to jump like a bunny, but it won't be able to jump very high, or it may jump too high, or anything. The children will come up with their own imaginative ideas, but you can ask them like this. It improves math and logic naturally. Like, it is not a conscious effort that comes in. Like, if you're doing sequencing, if you're doing patterns when it comes to coding, like in coding also, if you're putting arrows, like they know they have to put straight arrows and they have to put the right arrow. So they are putting the sequencing. Or if they are learning how to figure things out, they are doing patterns, directions, I mean. So these are basic coding basics. They are basic, and this also interweaves with mathematical concepts. So yeah, it builds teamwork and communication. Many coding activities are done in groups, like designing a path, giving instructions, like where one child will be, doing the activity, the other will be giving the instructions, and the child has to follow and do the activity. So there is a teamwork and a way of communication coming in. Kids learn to listen, share ideas, and solve problems together. Uh, Please mute yourselves, teachers. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so kids learn to listen, share ideas, and solve problems together. All right. So now let's go to the next thing, that is that future ready skills. Like, we want them, as I mentioned earlier, we want them to be there are certain skills that they need to develop when they grow up, which we did not need while we were growing up. Now, since the times have changed, the technology has changed, it's come in, it's like practically into almost everything that we do. We want them to develop those skills as well. So today the world runs on technology. Every coding thing prepares children, for digital literacy. Like, anything, there is a particular an influence of tech, and why not we develop or we shape the children that way. So we are not teaching children to code, we are teaching them to think. That is how we can look at the perspective of how to apply coding in preschool. See, this is an interesting fact that I came across that by 2030, 65% of jobs will require problem solving and computational thinking skills. And this can, we can also, like by 2030, right now, even if the children are in preschool, by the time they reach like 2040 or also, just imagine how high percentage of jobs will be needed in these particular skills. So let's do this thing. Let's start with, as I said, there are two parts. We'll be doing coding without screen and coding with screen. So let's do with coding without screen. Okay, so one thing you have to remember before we go ahead is that in coding does not require, it's not that coding can only be done with the help of screen. It can be done, and it has been, we have been doing coding without screens without knowing that we've been doing it. So I am, like putting it across with for you. So coding isn't only about computers or all those things. It is basically step-by-step instructions, giving clear instructions. Those in coding language, they are called algorithms. So if you use Instagram regularly, you'll see on Instagram that if you see a reel or if you like a reel that you see, your algorithm catches it and they change the entire thing that you will keep seeing those kind of reels only. So why it is the instructions that the software is getting or the app is getting that this particular user is likes this particular kind of reels, and those that instruction goes into that and it feeds in and it shows on your page, on your profile. So, or profile or whatever you use or your Instagram reel. So basically, you will be able to seeing uh, those kind of your preferences of your reel. Will be more visible to you. So algorithms, remember, it's just the another technical term for instructions, for step by step instructions. Children can learn coding through, movement, games, stories, जो practically हम क्लासरूम में कराते हैं, वो ही चीजों से हम कोडिंग भी अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. ठीक है? Let's do. So at preschool level, what is basically coding? It is these three things that you have to remember. It is about thinking in steps, patterns, and sequences. As you know, our curriculum also aligns very much with these things that it is, the focus is there on steps, on patterns, and also on sequences. We have to give them hands-on activity, hands-on play ideas for them to be involved in it, as you all know. And so these activities combine logic, creativity, fun movement, which is perfect. So like there is logic, there is some level of creativity, and there is some activity, some active involvement, some participation from the end of the children, from the children's side. And that's what is a perfect recipe for our young learners to learn. So let's start. The very first activity that you can try as teachers, you can try in your classroom is movement coding. Now you can place some arrows. See, I'll show you. So you can place some arrows over here like this. There's a start button, forward, turn right. This is something very basic that you can do. So here the child will say, okay, now you move ahead. So there is so I'll just let me do it with you. So there are two ways that you can do. First, you can do is let the child stand at the start button and tell the child to move, like follow the instructions that are given on the placard. They will follow, they will move forward, they will stomp their feet like an elephant, they'll turn right, so they have to turn towards the right, that is, they are following the arrow and following the instructions. And then they will stretch like a giraffe and they will stop. The route, the path stops. Here we are involving movement, like there is some kind of an activity, some movement happening. You can also do it this way, is you can give them like a teamwork or a pair it up for them. So one child will stay, the other child, if they are not comfortable with the blindfold, just tell them to listen to what the other child is saying. So they will have to stand on the start button, the other child will say, now you have to move one step forward. So the child will move forward. Then next is that you have to stomp your feet like an elephant. So the child who is doing this activity will be following the instructions of the speaker, of the other child, or of their pair, and they will do it. So here we are establishing that means of communication. Here we are establishing how children will communicate and how they have to give instructions and how to follow instructions. And then you can switch the roles. So you can try that with them. And trust me, this particular activity, I have tried it. I didn't know the term that it is applicable for coding, but we did it as like for Friendships Day, we had done this Be My Buddy kind of a thing activity with senior KG kids. And it was where, one child was holding a piece of paper where we had given them not instructions, but just symbols like, walk 3 steps, then turn to the right, and then simple instructions like, jump, and then next you have to shout hurrah, and you were supposed to end with it. So, and the one child will hold the paper, the other would stand in front of them or in the other, like, a little far away from them. This child will give them instructions like, now you move 3 steps forward. This child will move 3 steps ahead, then turn to the right, and jump backwards, anything what instructions you want to give. But we had done it as a Friendships Day activity for senior KG children, and this was many years ago. So you can see that coding has always been there. Now the term is here. So we can do the next game is cup stack algorithm. So what basically यहाँ पे जो लिखा है, it is little different to what I'm trying to tell you here is that, you can give them basic instructions like, put red on blue, so they have to take the red cup and put it on the blue cup. Taller tower first, जिसका भी tall tower बन गया, like that kind of a thing. Make a pyramid. So we are giving simple instructions, or we can simply tell them, lay 5 cups, then lay 4 on top of them, then lay 3, then lay 2, and then 1, and your pyramid is ready. This kind of a thing, while talking to you guys, I just recollected it. We used to make children play these games. Wherein वो होता है ना, like throw the target, like there's this stacked up glasses there, and they have to throw a ball and ensure that all of them fall off. So here also the cup stack algorithm works because we only used to make the children do it. So the children knew that more number of glasses will come here, then 5, and then they will only reduce and then they will put it up. So they were the basic instructions that the children were following, and it works. So they follow the sequence step by step, building an algorithm physically. So here I have some ideas which you can do. Like, see, as I mentioned about this, what we yeah, like 4, 3, 2, 1, the basic pyramid thing that we have. Next we have that give them the colors and they have to you do it. uh they have to follow those things like, okay, the yellow and then the red and then the green. But see, when you see it in the image also, it is different. The red is on supposed to be on, like, on the left side, and yellow on the right, but it's not there like that. So, and the next is that you putting in numbers. So we are applying different, we can use these paper cups or, those glasses in n number of ways, n number of ways. And, remember, when I'm talking about coding path also ahead, we can use these paper glasses to build a path as well. And they work. Give them paper glasses and they will keep constructing things. Next is pattern coding with beads and blocks. So here we give them 2 or 3 colors. We give them the basic patterns. If I have in one of the workshops earlier, I had told you about AB pattern or ABB pattern. So those are basically like one color and like, for example, red, blue, blue, red, blue, blue. So these are simple patterns that we create, and we can ask the children to create as well. So, like, with the use of blocks or beads. So it helps them, with recognition, with memory, memorizing things, not memory, but remembering things, repetition, prediction. So these are all also basic coding loops. So it is correlating with the activity that we do. So here we've given them blocks. We ask them to do different things. Like okay, ऐसे block की image दे दो. Okay, I want something like this. So they are following they are following the image. They are going to do it step by step. They will, like anyway. This is what we want them to do. Now we have treasure hunt coding. Now you have to place arrows on the floor like a path. Children follow them to reach a hidden treasure. Please mute yourselves. Please. Uh, Miss Priya, please mute yourself.
आता फार्मर एवढा मोठा देऊ का? 5:30 लेवलची तयारी कलर पेपर कोणाला लाईट पिंक कलर आउटलाईन काढली की झालं.
Miss Priya, please mute yourself.
मिस प्रिया.
Yeah. So, thank you. So now place arrows on the floor. Let the children follow the path. So like they know there are three arrows on the floor, then they have to turn or right or jump. And if you see, like you can add some more masala in it, like put a red dot and red card and say whenever you see a red card, you are supposed to jump, or whenever you see a green card, you're supposed to clap, or whenever you see a blue card, you're supposed to go 2 steps before, backwards, anything. So this helps in problem solving. Here we have there are several activity worksheets also that you can do, and you can give them, and you let them, you can cut the squares and give it to them and let them do it. There are so many different paper pen activities also available. See, all these games that I've mentioned are hands-on, they are fun, they help in the step-by-step problem solving ability, and also they require no gadgets. No gadgets, nothing that can be done in the classroom. You don't need a particular gadget or a tab in the classroom. It can be done without it. And also it can be done in small or large classrooms. Why is everybody unmuting themselves today? Teachers, it's just disrupting the flow of the workshop. Anshu Mishra, ma'am, please, yes, please mute yourself. Thank you. Please ensure that you are on mute because it disrupts the entire flow. Yes, thank you. So basically, what here is the gist of it, that what we were doing is coding without screens shows us that, with play and logic and creativity is nothing but coding. And as I've told you, like since now when I was mentioning about it also that okay, we can do coding without screens, and I was giving you these activities, these suggestions, you all must have thought that okay, I have been doing similar kind of activities with the children in the classroom, and what we've been doing is nothing but coding. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. So these activities basically they lay the foundation for the digital tools that they'll be using later. Now we have this interactive group project is basically designing a coding path. I have kept it very simple, very basic. I'm not going to go much into detail with it because, yeah, we have time today. Yeah, so don't worry. So basically, designing a coding path. Now, children, they learn best when they are involved. They are physically involved as well, like where they have to move, they have to figure things out, and they have to create something where they can see the results happening right in front of them. And a coding path activity, it introduces sequencing, directions, and logical thinking, which they are basic coding blocks or rules, like that is requirement. Instead of typing code, children use arrows, mats, blocks, and all these things to code the path. Okay? So it is the same thing that we do on the computer using an app. We are doing it hands-on. We are doing it with the children. Why it matters? It encourages teamwork, problem solving skill build hota hai. It links coding with real world actions. That is very crucial. That is extremely crucial that the children of this age, the the Gen Z or the what's the new term is, I think alpha, I think. Yeah. So they need to be aware of they need to learn the clear demarcation between what is reality and what is virtual. And if we try, this can be our bid into making them try that, okay, you can link coding or link virtual things with the real world, but they are different. They are not the same. So here, that is another thing. But yeah, you can link coding with real world actions. Like if I say turn right, what will happen? So if they are using logical thinking. We have these basic, I just found these basic images, some simple ones, and they are nice and fun. So, either ways you can, do it in the classroom or when they are coming, there's a lobby and you can try these when the children come in. And what we used to have was uh, when I was in the preschool, it is not coding related, but this is something that you can also, you know, you all might be doing it or you can apply for them to learn, for the children to learn to to keep one foot on one step and another one on another step while climbing up. And okay, so we used to do is we used to put a print of the right foot on one step, the left foot on another, right on one, left on another, and the children would we were trying to teach them how to climb up. Then, while following the classroom, also like the young ones, if they were given, like a green color circle, each and every child was given a badge kind of a thing, and then they had to follow the trail of how the green dots are leading them to which classroom. So the green dots would, lead them to this particular classroom, so they have to follow that trail. So they are following those instructions here. They are following it, like, okay, where are we supposed to go? Once they go in, there was a green box in which they were instructed to put the badge in, and the children would put. So they know that they belong to this classroom, and this is how, we used to do different activities, but looking at this, the zigzag way and everything. So I just happened to remember it. This game is most of you must have seen it also or played also. I have played it with my 5 year when my kids were 5 years old because I had kept it for their birthday. We as friends also we've played this game and it's super fun. You can do it. You can simplify it a little bit and you can do it for the preschoolers as well. Just need the simple images. Like they have to keep their foot to the way it has been asked, and they have to keep their palm also the way it has been asked. So it is a fun game. You can do it. Next, see, I found this also. This basically I have kept all the images all together, so you get an idea of what basically I'll be talking about in ahead. So here we are also giving them a problem. The problem is, for example, let's take the image of the caterpillar, the that picture. So the caterpillar wants to reach the apple. So the problem is given to the child. How will the child solve? The child is given some set of arrows. The child will have to place those arrows in such a way that the caterpillar can reach the apple. Yeah. So this is where it is. They are actively involved. It is done. They know what is going on. It's helping them develop the problem solving skills to a very large extent. Now I have a list of practical classroom activities over here. Okay, so now the first is floor grid path. As I showed you earlier, also you can do those the footprint and the handprint activity. That is also a kind of a floor grid. You can hear the suggestion is like make a checkered board, like and then place a treasure or a toy at one end. Children become robots. Teachers or peers give them step-by-step instructions. So they have to follow, oops, sorry, take one step forward, take another step forward, turn to the right. So basically, what they were doing here with the arrows in this, the children themselves are arrows. So either you as teachers can give them instructions, or the children can give the peers can give instructions to each other. Robo follows the code, and here the variation can be use arrow cards instead of verbal instructions. So the kids, and they lay out the code sequence also. So if the child is saying, give them arrow cards, so they know the code they are learning how to code it. Like if you put it, this is how the instructions will follow. See, for example, over here, if you give this, please mute yourself. Okay. Little Champs Preschool, please mute yourself. Okay. So here we have a chart and kind of a thing that you can make the children do in a form of a story, or you can use any of the concepts that you're doing in the classroom and you can make them do it, and they can lay it, a child can do it, and then, you can put the arrows and make the code also. Story coding path. So this is applied for story coding also, that the pirate wants to reach the treasure, but how will the pirate reach? So they have to use these. The pirate first takes few steps ahead. He meets he comes across a huge pile of rocks, but then he goes to the right and he sees like a small pond. Then there's another person. He meets a monster and he runs and he goes and reaches the treasure. Then he sees the tree and he turns to right and he reaches the treasure. So kind of a thing that where you can ask them to narrate later on the story that they've done, or how did they crack it out and what all came in the middle. You can do several activities. How many steps, if you want to include math, how many steps did you do? If you want to include illiteracy in this particular if looking at the same image, if you want to introduce integrated with literacy, you can tell them, okay, how many blocks are there? I mean, you can ask them, tell me the objects that you see, how many humans were there, what would you like to name the person, can you describe when they are narrating the story, we have that. If you are then you give them a sheet of paper and like give them a blank sheet of paper later on and tell them to draw what all treasure did the pirate find from the treasure box. So they'll come up with lollipops or candies or toys or whatever. So it is art, and we are integrating it with art as well. So one particular activity can revolve around all the topics, all the subjects that we want. And here, only through coding, it has been, I mean, just one simple activity. So coding can be done in each and every subject as well. Okay. So story coding paths, so you give them children code the story of journey of the character and it is done. So here, for example, see the three little pig story. So they are getting, like Mama Pig told the first pig that, okay, now all three pigs go and what all happens over here. The wolf is where. So, they are doing it, they are working it out. Hopscotch coding. Teacher gives the code, jump to one, then jump to three. This, you can also do basic numbers when you're introducing numbers with our preschoolers, or number names also. You can tell them to identify and jump and, like dance and go and wiggle like a worm on number four. So they will jump and they will wiggle and give them some different nice, interesting actions along with it, and it's a super hit. Like it's a successful activity, trust me. So at this, I didn't know that we used to code, and our new teachers also code. But yes, so kids follow as a live algorithm, so they are following the instructions. So here we have put on those arrows and those cards. You can also put in, but you can put number cards instead. Build a maze. Now, in the classroom, you can, like we have those some cushions, take some baskets, and tell them that they are not supposed to go over it, they are supposed to go around it. And they can build, create obstacles and tell them to reach, this particular object or anything. You can do it in the outdoor play area, wherein you can put some chairs, some mats that you're not, rolled up mats. It's like an obstacle. They have to roll over, jump over. You can give them instructions and let them do it. So it is super, like, it is super fun for them being involved, and it's like, like an adventure for them. And the code, basically the code is tested, it is debugged, and it is improved, because then by the time the second time they'll be doing it, they will know the route and how to go, and they will reach that goal. So here, instead of outdoor, as I was going to mention about outdoor, I thought I'll show you something that we can do indoors as well in the classroom. Uh, you can make this with clay, or tell the children to do it, or whatever, and see, they have to follow. Where does it reach? Basically, जो हम maze कराते हैं, like find the way, follow the way kind of a thing, वो हम उनको hands on, like we are making them do it. Either they are doing it, or we are making them do it with some particular activity. And this thing, this the ball with the straw kind of a thing, I had done this with my children during the lockdown, and I had made a small one. Though it survived only a day because the board and everything was very flimsy, but how much ever the board survived, the children enjoyed it. The children loved playing it, playing with it. Coding path. So basically, the basic key takeaway is that, coding paths, they help preschoolers. How do they help? They help in understanding sequences, following the directions, developing patience, and most importantly, persistence. The idea of not giving up in one go, and expressing, experiencing coding as a play movement, and there is no screen work required, not at all. Okay, now let's go ahead. We'll go ahead with classroom integration. Till now, if there are any doubts, any questions that you want to put in of any of the topics that we've covered till now, please, you can write it in the chat box, or you can just raise your hand or unmute yourself and tell me. I will give you 1 minute for that, so that then we can move ahead with how to integrate coding into our daily routine. Let's just take a water break till the time. Okay, any doubts, any questions, anything that you want to tell me or ask me? Yeah, basically. Okay, okay, all right. No doubts? Okay. At least I want a thumbs up. Okay, no doubts. If you're all clear, I want a thumbs up in the chat box, so I know how many of my teachers are awake and I have not put them to sleep. Come on, I want a thumbs up in the chat box fast. Okay, great, great, great. See, so I know that I am not talking to the screen and I'm talking to people over there. It feels as if there's, I mean, yeah. Okay, okay. Thank you. At least few of you are awake. I don't know about others. Okay, great. At least, chalo, good. Good to know. Good to know that somebody listening to me. Okay, now we'll go ahead. We'll go to the next step. That is the next part of the workshop. That is classroom integration. As you've been seeing that we have been making a conscious effort in integrating what all topics that we cover into the daily routine, into a classroom, so that you don't have to go overboard or beyond your daily routine, because anyways for teachers preschool life is, anyways preschooling being a preschool teacher is anyways very hectic, and we don't want to add on any new uh, topic or any new activities, anything as such for you all. So it is our effort, our thing from you, for you guys, that you can try to incorporate these activities into your daily routine while you are doing the concept or anything, so that uh, it's a smooth process for you all, and it's little less hectic for you all. Okay, so let's start with the classroom integration. So why this matters? See, as I mentioned, Teachers, you often worry, where will I fit coding into my packed preschool timetables? I mean, preschool children are so small. We as when I was a preschool teacher, we used to always joke that preschoolers, they are little tiny tots, okay, and their schedules, like what all curriculum that we plan and what all activities that we plan, and they are so packed for these tiny tots. Like it's a huge thing. So I can totally relate to it. So where will you fit coding is basically the solution that we've put across for you is that it blends seamlessly into activities. As I told you, that one simple treasure hunt wala activity pe you could do all your concepts of the day. Okay, songs dal do jo dalna hai, and they don't even realize they are coding. And we are not going to tell the children, okay, children, let's sit and do coding today. No, there is no need for it. We don't need it. They will just learn. It is just a process that we want. We don't want them to know the term also. So, for example, in playgroup, how will we inculcate? Now we are doing. There are several action songs that uh, are done like that are very prominent in playgroup. So how will we do, like using songs like clap, jump, turn around? For example, we have this head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. So what is it? It is basically following the algorithm, following the instructions. Head, shoulders, knees, toes, knees, toes. So what are the children are learning those steps? So if the teacher here, you can give them cards of, like give, if you're doing, let's do it with the head, shoulders, knees and toes rhyme. So you can either also give, each child, if there are 4 children or 8 children or whatever, get 4 children ahead of you, give them, or get 6 children ahead of you. Give each child a placard or an image of, like, one child tapping the head, other one tapping shoulders, the next one on knees, third one pointing to the toes, fourth one pointing to the toes, fifth one pointing to the knees again, and sixth one is pointing to the no, toes. And here, when they are doing, they have to say. So head, shoulders, not say if they are young, yes, you can say, but they can follow those actions. So this is some fun, way of doing a sequence thing, kind of a thing with them, and it is the first step of coding. For phonics, when you're doing some, like every time the teacher says the sounds, they have to slither like a snake. Okay. Or when the teacher says the sound jump, so they have to jump like an elephant, jump, whatever. Like hop like a rabbit, anything. Like just say and rub tummy level, like eating, like while eating, how we rub our tummy. So you can make them do. So here they are connecting the sound with the action. Again, that's coding. You must have noticed I am trying to put in, and you all also know if you have been attending the workshops, that I try to give as less as those, making those teaching aids and making props for an activity. I try to cut it down as much as possible. So you must have noticed that most of the activities, I know there are many arrows or something, but that's one time thing. Then you can keep changing it. Sorting and matching games. Like if you have red, you have to go to the left. If you have blue, you go to the right. So they are learning these colors. You can do it with shapes. You can do it with objects. You can do it with anything that you've taught them. Like if you pick up a thick brush, an image of a thick object, you will go to the right. Any thin object, you will go to the left. So here you are doing the concept also, you are reinforcing it with a fun way, and there is coding that is also being worked. See, as I 1 minute, it introduces if and then logic. So basically, it's a building block of coding. We have phonic integration. Match letters to path. Now we are still in nursery. So now we've finished one activity. We've come into the phonic concept. So arrow cards with A, B and C दे दिया. अभी हमने एक apple का picture रख दिया. So they have to match it. Which letter will match with the apple's picture? So if it's A, they have to match it with the arrows. Like that kind of a way. For junior KG, now we have the sequencing or their understanding. See, like example, there is a bee, a flower, and a hive. So children places arrows forward, left, right, whichever way to guide the bee to the hive. It is basic spatial awareness that we are teaching them, that they know that okay, now they have to turn and reach here. Phonics, when we talk about, it will be like placing cards like at in a sequence. The child codes by stepping on each sound and building a word. Simple, basic flashcards laga do. You don't need those properly specifically made cards. Write with a chalk on the floor. The idea is that the purpose of them reading each sound and building the word should be achieved whichever way you want to do, whichever way, whatever way you want to do, but the purpose should be served this way. That's the idea. Coding cards. Now, for senior KG, you can do quite a lot, like, sorry, I have bad cold today. Yeah. So now, example, make the robo go to the castle. So now you have to give them, pick them arrows, tell them to do it. I did put up an image for it. I don't know where is it. I think I missed it out. But similar to that, I had found a very beautiful image on, the Five Little Ducks story. So, like, there is an arrow of the mama duck is here, and the five little ducks, they have followed the trail. Like every duck has got a specific arrow, colored arrow placard. They are following. Then like when we sing the song that okay, mama duck says quack quack quack, and only four little ducks came swimming back. So like the four little ducks, then the arrows move and they show the four little ducks coming back, but one duck stays far away. Then again they are showing the three, and then the four go, but three come back. And it is a beautiful picture, but I don't know, I think I missed it out. And it's like a fun thing, repetition ho raha hai, they are counting, they are learning, and there's coding happening, so much of it without even any of us realizing. Here you can do, give arrows or cards with letters. The team, make a team and let them arrange in order to code a new word. Like if you give them, say, RAT, you give them those three words. First they'll do RAT rat, then they will do ART art. If just they will figure things out, they may not also, but you can help them that way. TAR tar. So they are working it, there's excitement to form new codes or new words and do it. And it's a fun activity. As adults also we enjoy if we have, when this, while I was writing this down for this, coding and adds excitement and everything, I had recently been to the mystery rooms that we have over here where you have to enter and you have to figure out a code or a way to leave one room and go to another. And as adults, we were so excited and, like, enjoying it. Just imagine for children, even basic simple tasks, if we give them like this, they will have such a blast. Coding is not a separate subject, teachers. It is a teaching strategy that makes phonics, math, or any other topics that we do more engaging. Each age group can practice coding at their own developmental level. We don't need it that way. Now, since we did some digital tools in the last session, earlier session, I have tried to incorporate I mean, to show you all what kind of a digital tools are available for early coding, if at all you are trying to incorporate a little bit of screen time in your curriculum. One thing, remember, preschool, we will not have digital tools or any apps that works for preschool children. They are very young. We start off from nursery. Okay, so basically, coding in earlier doesn't mean the typical complicated codes that they have to look out or they have to do. There are many, many tools and apps available. Even if you go on Play Store and you will type, like how many uh, even if you go on Play Store and you will look out, you will just type coding apps and you will see a long list of apps coming in. They all introduce in a very fun way. It is super fun. I'll show you the app Scratch Junior. I will demonstrate a simple thing and a basic thing. And it is so much fun, while I was doing it, while I was learning, when I was doing Scratch Junior, I was interested in it. So imagine how the interface they have created, that it is interesting for adults. Just imagine how much fun it will be for the kids. So these tools are age appropriate, so colorful, interactive, and safe. Why it matters? Basically, we want them to learn through touch and play on screen. See, since children are watching screen, little bit amount of it, why not do it in a way where they are learning it? Last time also I had mentioned that. It provides instant feedbacks. That's the beauty. That's, I think, according to me, that's the only beauty where why the children enjoy using these apps is because they are getting that results immediately. Okay. So, yeah, you can just go through it. It bridges the gap between unplugged activities, unplugged uh, as in the ones that we did, like I spoke, the activities without screen. So I'll give you some examples. We have for nursery, as I mentioned, Play School is not included in this. Bee Bot app. I'll show you the image also. It's a simple thing. The bee has to reach the flower. How will it go? They have arrows, the children follow. There is coding safari, but this is the focus is on direction, sequencing, and fun characters. For junior KG, we have Scratch Junior. I'll show you a simple image and you'll get an idea. And where the focus is on storytelling, problem solving. You'll come to know why storytelling and what is problem solving. And the other app, I have not tried it, but as per the recommendations, this was a it's very age appropriate, so I've put it. Lightbot Junior, it is again, sequencing early mini project dete hai unko, Tinker Junior, so they drag and drop stories and make mini games and everything. It's fun. So digital tools for early codings are basically, they are visual, they are fun, and they are child friendly. It builds confidence also, easy to use. There is no prior coding training required to use these apps if you as teachers are doing it in the classroom. You go through it once and you will know. Allow children to create stories, solve puzzles, give them a task and let them do it. Make coding a joyful exploration or not a technical subject. Bottom line. Okay, so we reached here for at the end of our workshop. Just I'm stopping the screen share and I will show you Scratch Junior. Till the time, if you have any questions, any recommendations, any feedback, anything, just put it. You can unmute and tell me, or you can just write it in the chat box. Till the time, I'll just share the Scratch Junior interface. Okay, before I share, just tell me, are you all interested in seeing that, or are you all aware of it, how it is? Like, if you want to see it, just write yes, or if you already know, just write. Just don't give me anything. Yeah, yes. So there is. I did get the response. I'll just do it for you. 1 minute, huh? Yeah, sure, sure. I'll be more than happy to show you. Wait. It takes 2 minutes to open. Just give me a minute. I'll do it for you. Okay. So this is the basic front, the home page of Scratch Junior. When you click on it, I hope it's visible to all of you. Yeah. Okay. So this is the yeah. Okay. So this is how, see, these are the few of the projects which I had made when I was conducting or when I was learning or when I was practicing that way. So here, for example, let me open this one. they all have those technical terms. This is called the stage. These are called different technical terms are there, which I'll not go into it. But basically, what I'm trying to show you here is you can see these arrows, the blue arrows down. So these are basically, if I do, okay. So I am adding arrows. So if I click on the green button, right now it is the astronaut that we are working on. You can see it's highlighted over here. So if you see, you'll see the astronaut working, astronaut moving. And every time you pass, it will read. So then you can count and you can do it. You can send it back. You can do it your way. There is one more option. Wait, I'll just show it to you. Okay. So now instead of doing it so many times, so what we usually teach is we can teach, the elder kids, and this is how we go. So the astronaut is moving like this. So it reaches the astronaut is like we did a story of like him, the astronaut landed by mistake. He was in the space. He bumped into an asteroid, and he came and he entered the uh, he went into a forest in the country called Argentina, and in the forest he was very very hungry and he was looking out for food. But then he found some oranges. He didn't eat those oranges. He loved his another fruit that started with letter A, and then he saw that it was that red juicy fruit was right on the tree. So and that was an apple. And so here is the second character, which is the apple. Now you can see the apple is highlighted. So the astronaut goes to the apple and he wants to eat the apple. Okay. So let me show it to you in the full screen. And this is how the entire thing where both the characters will work. They have both have been given some coding and they work. So you can see the astronaut reaches the apple and he eats it. So the apple will be given when how to so the astronaut will be here. You can see the apple has got those 12 pointers, but the arrow is following downwards. So the kids know that if I change this and if I add this and if I play, it will move like this. And if I add 8, it will move like this. That is not the purpose. So the children also understand. Okay, what we want from the apple is the apple to move. Oops, sorry. The apple to move downwards. Yeah. So this is what we are working on. Now we'll move it. We want to delete this, and the apple is moving downwards. So this is the basic thing that we do, and you can do your concepts also sometime, you can add a concept, and we did letter A like this, and it's super fun to the for the children also, and trust me, for the teachers as well, because we are creating something, and it's a fun thing. Yeah. So overall, we've come to the end of our workshop. Any other queries, any doubts, anything that you want to share, please, please, please do let me know. I'll keep the window open for next 5 minutes, and then we will be uh, and then I'll see you next week. We'll keep the window open for 2 minutes. Those who Always. What else? As in, can you elaborate your question? Like, what does digital literacy term mean for kindergarten? So, means how would you want to inculcate it, or what is your query, ma'am? Yes, one of you have also raised your hand. Please tell me. Okay, digital literacy is basically making them aware of the concept of, how uh, these uh, tech, or how these screen, like if you have a screen also in front of you. So for example, I showed you the Scratch Junior thing. So the basic aware of, like open, close, which button goes where. So it's a very basic thing that we want to literate the children about it. Okay, it's an umbrella term, which is like, digital literacy means it covers up quite a lot of things. But for kindergarten, it will be basic, very simple. Wait, let me just see which slide you were talking about. Is it regarding the digital tools that we did? Uh, Because the idea is that in future, when they will be exposed to these digital tools, they will have some kind of knowledge. They don't need to know all these things, but when those tools are introduced to the children, they will be able to adapt easily and clearly with it, because they will be able to uh, understand what kind of critical thinking, problem solving abilities are required to finish. Okay, fourth and fifth slide. 1 minute. The beginning of the thing. Wait. Okay. There are several apps, the apps which I told you about. So if they have that way of critical thinking, the way of learning that we are trying to incorporate over here, it will be easier for them to use those apps when in the future when they will be doing. Okay, so learning ABC, there are many, many, many digital apps available to learn different things, as you all know. So it is basically those are called the usage, or how to use a particular app is how what we mean by digital literacy. How being aware of it. That's it. There's nothing. It's a huge umbrella term which I have used for the children. Okay, ma'am. Okay. 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 So I will be signing off now, and I'll see you next week. Okay, teachers. So take care and thank you. Any other queries if you have for this, you can definitely uh any app for elder kids. What age group are you looking out for, ma'am? Yeah, so Scratch Junior 1 to 5 grade. You can do Scratch Junior. You can introduce Scratch Junior to them. Then there is Scratch also. And that is one app which I totally vouch for because I've tried it, I've applied it, and the kids really enjoy. In fact, as big as second graders, third graders also enjoy Scratch Junior. You can introduce that to them, have a look, and then you will gradually, we can, of course, you get back to us, we will tell you more, we will refer to more apps also for you. But right now, if you want to, you can start with Scratch Junior, the app which I demonstrated. You're most welcome. Most welcome back. Okay. So I'm signing out now. So have a great week. I'll see you next week. Take care.